Hi guys, I'm making this video today because I wanted to talk to you about being bullied. I have quite a few of you write comments on my different videos, my children's meditation videos, about being bullied, or that you're going through certain things in your personal life and you don't know what to do, or you don't know who to tell, and all of those things. So this video is for all of my little friends out there, children of all different ages, that follow my YouTube channel, that are maybe struggling at the moment. This video is for you. So hopefully I'll share with you some information that's going to help you if you're currently being bullied. Now, pre-warning for any adults or parents that are listening to this, these are my opinions, and I'm coming from a professional place as far as being a therapist, but I'm also coming from a place of being bullied myself when I was younger, and having two teenage girls and what they've experienced growing up and going through their experiences. And I understand that my opinions and maybe some of the solutions that I'm offering in this video may be different to what your opinions are. And I am saying that that's totally okay. We all have different opinions. And I would like you, if you have something useful or a suggestion that would be helpful to the children that are going to be watching this video, to post your comments down below, because we're all a family here. And if you have something from a parent's perspective or a teacher's perspective that you think would be helpful for kids that are currently dealing with being bullied, then please, 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 let's start some kind of forum below where we can talk and share tips. Okay, so that all being said, I'm going to get into it, and I'm going to share some thoughts with my friends that are being bullied. The first thing that I would tell you to do if you were here in front of me, and I know that you're not, and the chances of you seeing me in person are very slim, but let's just pretend that I'm right there with you, okay? I would tell you, the first thing that you need to do is tell your parents. It's really important that you tell your parents, because your parents have the ability to maybe do more about your problem with being bullied than you can. They could maybe go and speak with the children or the child that's bullying you, and go and speak with their parents personally and have the situation solved in that way. Your parents could also maybe go to school and have a meeting with the principal or the teachers and address the situation at school. So your parents have power. So if you can tell your parents that you're being bullied, it's really good that you do that as soon as you can. Now, I understand that everybody is different, and not everybody has a great relationship with their parents, and sometimes you feel like you can't tell your parents certain things. If that's you and that's the case, then tell someone else. Maybe you have older people in your life that you have relationships. Maybe your neighbors are really good with you, and you have a good relationship with your neighbor. Maybe you have a teacher at school that you really like, or a counselor at school that you can talk to that's there professionally to help you with situations like that. But maybe it's a teacher that you feel comfortable talking to. Tell someone that's an adult, okay, if you possibly can. That way you have more chance of an adult having an idea of how to deal with your problem personally. The other thing is, you might be lucky enough to have bigger, older brothers and sisters. And if that's you, then you make sure that your older brothers and sisters know what's going on with you at school. Tell them what's going on with you. Tell them who's bullying you. Maybe they know them, and maybe they know that they can go and talk to these kids or this child and have them not bully you anymore. So brothers and sisters can be really, really helpful. My brothers and sisters always, they were older than me, and they always stuck up for me. I was really lucky to have brothers and sisters that would stand up for me if they were with me. But of course, there's times when you're going to be alone, and there might be situations where you don't have your brothers and sisters with you. And those are the type of situations where you have two choices. If you walk into a situation and there's a gang of kids, which normally is the case with bullies, because a bully tends to be a person that has a lot of fear, believe it or not, and they always hang out with other gangs of children. They don't tend to bully people on their own. They always have backup. So they're never alone, and they always have a crowd of kids that'll do what they say and kind of be their support system. That's because they're scared, and they would never bully you if they were alone. So that's typically what happens with a bully. They hang out in gangs. Now, if you walk upon a gang situation and you think, you instantly know that you shouldn't be there, don't be afraid to run, okay? If you have to run, run away, because that's the smart thing to do in certain situations. If you're with friends, maybe two friends, and you still don't feel like this is a good idea, you run. Everybody run away. And when I say run, you run to the closest public place. Maybe that's a library, or a shop, a store that's open, or a fast food place. And if there isn't anything like that that's public that you can run to, then I would suggest that you run to the closest house. Now, there's things that you need to be careful for when you run to the closest house, and let me explain that. You could run to the closest house and you could knock on the door and say, I have a gang of kids chasing me and I think they're gonna hurt me, and I need to just stand here until they go away, and I need to call my parents, or I need to call my older brother or older sister. I need to call someone. Normally, that person would, of course, be supportive and allow you to stand in their garden by their front door and let you call your parents. But let's be realistic. There's lots of people out in the world that do bad things to children. So my advice, if you're going to run to a stranger's house and you knock on the door, is you never, ever, ever go inside that stranger's house. You always stay outside. If they say to you, come inside, yes, you can come inside. That person might be a very nice person, but you can't 100% know that, and you have to be very careful with strangers. So I would say never, ever, ever go in a stranger's house, okay? But it's okay to run in a stranger's garden and make it look like you're going to a stranger's door if you think that this is going to make the gang of kids running after you not run after you anymore and actually give up and go away. And if you're a child that doesn't have a cell phone, most kids have cell phones these days. It's very normal to be young with a cell phone. If you're not one of those kids and you don't have a cell phone and you run up to a stranger's house and you knock on the door, you say to them, would it be possible for you to call my parents? And again, you do not go in the house. You wait outside while this person phones your parents to come and help you, come and get you, whatever you need to do, okay? So it's really, really important that you don't go in strangers' houses, because that's not good, okay? The other thing that I would suggest is, if it looks like you can't run, then sometimes in some situations, you can't get away from being bullied. That's just life. And sometimes you have to know how to stick up for yourself. And if you have to defend yourself and stick up for yourself, then that's what you're going to do. And my advice in that situation is, there's always a bully that's louder than all the others. There's always a leader. If you're going to have to stick up for yourself, that's the one that you need to defend yourself against, okay? So if that's the one, she or he is probably the one that's going to maybe hit you or do something mean to you, push you, kick you, whatever they're going to do. That's the one that you have to strike out and hit back. And when you hit, you make sure you hit as hard as you can. And then as soon as the opportunity comes, you run. You run away and you get away, because there's no way that a group of people on one person or on you and your friend it's not going to come out good. You need to get away from the situation. Now, to learn to take care of yourself, there's things that you can do. Both of my daughters, I put them through Taekwondo when they were younger, and both of them are black belts in Taekwondo. Now, touch wood, they've never been bullied, and they've never had to deal with being in a fight or any kind of situation like that. But I think part of that is because they have a confidence about themselves that they would be able to defend themselves if it came down to it. So I suggest, if you're being bullied, to look into maybe your parents signing you up into a Taekwondo class or a self-defense class or a karate class, something where you're going to learn in a controlled way how to defend yourself. I'm not talking about learning how to kick people and hurt people and be a bully yourself. I'm talking about you learning to take care of yourself and being able to defend yourself if you get yourself into a scrape with a group of people or one person that looks like you're going to end up having to have a fight with someone. You need to be able to take care of yourself. Now, when I was growing up, it was very different. I didn't do Taekwondo or karate or anything like that, but I had two older brothers and an older sister. My older brothers taught me how to take care of myself. They taught me how to defend myself and get away from a situation and maybe use my body or hit. If I really, really had to, then I was going to hit them the right way so that I could get away as soon as I can. So by all means, for the parents that's watching this, I'm not advocating violence here. But in reality, there's lots of kids that have to deal with violence. And there's only so many choices those children have that they can get out of that kind of situation. So I'm just covering bases here, okay? So first thing though is run away. If you can run away, run away. And then the second thing is, if you've got to stand there and defend yourself, then you best learn how to defend yourself and you best be able to take care of yourself. So I suggest you do some kind of self-defense to do that, okay? I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I've covered everything. I think that's it for the basis. You know, these days we have social media and there's a lot of cyberbullying going on, and that's a very different situation. My advice is, if you're being cyberbullied and you're in a situation that's what's happening to you, it's honestly easier because you can just not go on social media. You cannot go on Facebook or Snapchat or whatever it is, whether it's some kind of forum that you're in where people are saying mean things about other people. You can just turn off your computer and you can walk away from that stuff. That kind of bullying does not have to hurt you, okay? You have a choice and you don't have to deal with that kind of bullying. But if the bullying is actually physically in your life, like you're being bullied at school, or you're being bullied on the bus on the way home, or you're being bullied when you go out and play at night, those are situations where you definitely need to get help. And you talk to your parents, you talk to a teacher, you talk to your older brothers and sisters, you talk to someone. And if you don't have anyone, you talk to your friend. And when you talk to your friend, you're at least sharing what's going on in your life and you don't feel alone, and you can kind of process what's going on in your life, and it will be really helpful. But the first thing you have to do is share, okay? You have to tell. You can't be bullied and keep that to yourself, because that's going to make you maybe get depressed, maybe start to think depressive thoughts and just be scared about going to school or whatever it is that you're going through. You don't have to go through that alone. Now, if you don't think that you can physically talk to anyone in person, I want you to be able to talk down below in the comments. So if any of you are being bullied in any way and you want to share it and you want to feel safe and you want someone to help you, then I will try and answer all of the comments and I will try and help you individually. All you need to do is just use the comments down below, and we'll kind of start a forum, like a little family where we can all talk together and help each other. I won't be putting up with anyone making bad comments about anybody. So if anybody is having a hard time and there's a bad comment posted about that, then I'll just delete it, because that's not going to happen down below after this video. All I want is people sharing and supporting and giving ideas of how to be helpful in this situation. No bad comments, okay guys? All right. So I hope you're not being bullied, and I hope you don't need to watch this video. But if you did, please comment down below, okay? You're not alone. Someone is there for you. All right? Namaste.